Right then, another BMW video. Some of you might recognise this from the last video we did, the N57 F series. So these engines are a little bit different to the earlier N57 engine that's in the E series and stuff like that, because these have got the solenoid injectors. So last time we did the video, we were at 401 horsepower and we're right on the edge of the injectors, and we thought right on the edge of the pump as well, which we usually are with most stuff like this. Then we went on the road and it getting a bit hot, so we turned it down a little bit. So the spec to get to that horsepower, that were the 28 turbo, intercooler, exhaust downpipe, all that sort of stuff. Nothing too crazy, nice spec, and I sort of talked a lot in that video about how I like this spec better than the 3.5Ds. I thought it was quick, if not quicker. A lot of people argue about that, but I think that package were probably cheaper than buying a 3.5 and remapping it. So I'm still needing to be corrected on that one, so a drag race maybe needs to happen at some point.
Drag race! Drag race!
But Matt's brought it back to us. He always wanted a bit more. So obviously when we turned it down to make it cooler and make it safer, he wanted a bit more basically. So we brought it back in, and it was a little bit experimental what we've done and how we've done it. It's all stuff that we've not actually tested before. So what we did, and there's no point taking this cover off, which again, twin power turbo, no idea why, because it's not a twin turbo no matter what it says, and it's not even a divided turbo, so it makes no sense whatsoever. But anyway, so we've got it in, and the idea, well, we already had a set of injectors ready, so we've had them custom made, we've had them made a bit bigger, about 50% extra flow, but in reality that don't work out, 50% extra fuel, so 50% more on the nozzle. But we've got it sorted anyway. I think if we do them again, we'll probably do them bigger, but anyway, we'll do some bigger injectors, they'll be available for the BMWs. And the turbo, we're going to leave that as it was, and then we said the next thing really, it's probably going to be fuel pump and then airflow limited. So we decided to get a 550D pump, which fits straight onto these, no problem, and a set of cams. So the graphs we've got here, this 382.7 is exactly as it came in from last time. So it's had a good few thousand miles of use, so 550 pounds of torque, which is spread all the way along, which I think we could have got a bit more here, but we're sort of pump limited all the time. The pump wanted to drain the rail early, so if we limited it here, we could get the rail pressure at the upper RPM. So 382, pretty good. So then now, you see the torque. This looks crazy, the graph. I can't believe how much it's actually done, but we've got 750 pounds-feet of torque and 454.7 horsepower, which is absolutely mental. And right at the top here, when it starts to die off again, this is where we're at a turbo now. So this turbo just won't flow enough to get any more power, which we have got a bigger turbo in the pipeline that should fit straight on, but that's not happened yet. But we did this in stages, but I've not got the graphs in front of me. Maybe we'll flash them up if we can. Putting the injectors in, that was the first thing we did. We got the 400 pretty easily, but the pump was draining. Again, we put the pump in and we got 425 horsepower, but then the injection duration, the air to fuel ratio and the EGTs were getting too much. So we put the cams in, 454 horsepower, so it's absolutely mental. The torque figure's just crazy. That's like the difference between a standard car and a massively tuned one, not one that were already tuned and then tuned again. So really happy with that. I'm sure Matt will be happy with it. I think the next thing is to go out and drive it. It's a nice sunny day. The tyres are not the best, so it definitely wants better tyres and better brakes. But let's go for a drive, see what it's like, and yeah, see what 750 pounds feels like. So we're out in the 430. So I've not driven this at all since last time it were in. So see how it goes. It's in sport, so it's quite aggressive when you set off. Drives fine when you're cruising. no problems. It is warm, but I'll let it warm up a bit more before I'm doing anything crazy. I do like these though. Shame if you've got kids you can't have legs. Back one of these. These tyres don't feel the best. Some Nankang Sports or something. The main thing, no smoke. Response as soon as you just tip in. No messing. I'll put the traction on and see if it kicks in rather than the other way around. Alignment's just a bit high on this arm. Pretty manual gear. 2000 RPM, full down. Yeah, that's quick. Just like a surge of acceleration, that's like very impressive. The gearboxes on these are super strong. They do fail, but that's usually standard abused cars, so we can only see if Matt's really concerned about his gearbox. We could turn it down to pretty much whatever torque number he wants, but it's above the factory rating. Everybody always goes on about the factory ratings, but like the 6-speed running the Golf Mark 4s is run right at its rating as standard, and there's people running 1,000 horsepower with them. They do break eventually, but I'm not to worry too much. Like third gear here. Yeah, that's it was still wheel spinning in third gear. So this is going to be fun to drive with no traction control, and I'd imagine put it into sport. Let it have a kick down as well. Can't believe how quick it comes on. This car's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I'm sure people want more metrics from these to 60s and all that sort of stuff, but if we get the customer to go out in it and do some or somebody to go out in it and do some times, we can put them up on the video, but that's not the purpose of today. It's just crazy. Yeah, God, that's savage. That's why I didn't want to full throttle with the traction off and let it kick down as well, because really aggressive when it kicks down. For some reason a tyre pressure warning light wants to upset the day, but I think they're alright. I think there's just a problem with one of the sensors, so we'll go back and check it, so that would be the wise thing to do. But this is just mental. It's going to be like super difficult to get off the line. It'll not launch because it's obviously rear wheel drive, so a 30x drive, the ultimate, and you'd be doing mid 3 second to 60s. It'd be absolutely mental. And if you turn the traction off in this, you'll be doing crazy burnouts, I'm sure. I'll just try and get another Bloody hell. So this is up there with one of the fastest cars that we've had on the road. I'm sure there'll be something that we've had that's a bit quicker maybe, but not as savage as this. The old A5 when it had 500 horsepower were pretty quick, but definitely not as drivable as this. Nowhere near as drivable as this, so we need to get this sort of power from the new 8-speed Audis, I think. And the Amaroks. This is savage. I'll stop and get these I'll get these tyre pressures checked. Get it all reset. This is just nuts. So everything that you could possibly need to know will be in the description. There'll be links to all the products that we've got and everything. So, oh no.